Oh, and I didn't get I haven't got your chair yet.
I know. What is that?
I'm sorry.
I did walk
promised.
in and be like, you've been a bit busy. That's fine. I get
Yeah.
it. You've been in another country. That's
Yeah.
fine. I can deal.
This chair was
can
from
deal
IKEA.
with this chair.
It's all about the brands, isn't it? I hope we don't get. Can you get sued for doing this thing? What is it?
Because I've been listening to heaps of podcasts and they say heaps of different things.
Yeah.
Like, fair enough. When you maybe get up to like 4 or 5 million,
and it's like other
they'll
drinks
be
are
like,
available.
They'll be like, "Oh, give us some money out of saying it," but absolutely not
Like the
at
other
the moment.
company. Yeah. Well, anyway, this chair was from IKEA. I don't care.
And I'm drinking Jack Daniels.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got a glass of drink. other glasses of drinks are available. No, but I will get. I've got to go to IKEA to get a blind soon.
Okay.
Replace a blind for the same blind because the blind's damaged.
I need to get a blind for my daughter's room as well.
Oh, well, if he's one on IKEA, let us know. I'll pick one up for you.
Let's go. I'll send you a
Anyway,
text. You send me the bill.
One for offline. But then I can get the chair.
Yes.
Okay,
Get me the chair. Come on. Comfy chair.
Get the chair.
Welcome to the Harry & Co podcast show. Please like and subscribe for more.
Anyway, welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back, guys.
So yeah, effectively part 2 of Pride and the story of Nicole.
It's my moment.
It's your moment.
I finally get
Song
to
coming
share
again.
my story. My wife's going to be happy. She's going to be like, finally, she's talking to someone else other than me.
I hope she's going to be happy. And I hope that you have massively agreed that you can say whatever you want and she's not going to go, I can't believe you've talked about me.
She'll be fine. She'll be fine.
So anyway, so part 2. So we were talking about you. we were talking about you.
So
but we got to the original cliffhanger and then we sort of went bit roller coastery. But the original cliffhanger was like, basically, if we go back a bit and we can start anywhere you want, but you had a date with a boy.
Yeah.
And I know you've already talked about first girlfriend, but I want to go back to that because that in my mind was like, that was a bit of a cliffhanger, and I want the juicy detail.
Okay.
So effectively we got to the point where it was a guy that you went on a date with.
Yeah. Because I was trying to not be gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
So you want to know
because then you met the girl, but I don't want what happened then. So you went
on the date?
Well, no. I'm not being weird. Like, come on.
We did not have sex. Is that what you meant?
No, it wasn't like that. No, but what? And did you meet? Was that just a date, or were you going to say that you'd met the guy, but it was during the date or something that you'd met the girl or something? What was the...
No. Sorry. Yeah, I may have not explained that well. So the girl I did meet on Tinder. Right. Okay. So I went for this date with the guy. So I was on Tinder. I went for this date with the guy because I desperately wanted to just try and be straight. I desperately wanted to just live a life where people weren't always staring at me, where, people were always going to ask questions.
I just wanted... like a lesbian. Yeah. Why would they be staring at you? Go, oh my God, she's a lesbian.
Absolutely. You didn't know what I wore back there.
She's got her hair up in dungarees.
Back then I was a bit of a tomboy. I wore checkered shirts. That's a very lesbian. Yeah, you look like a lesbian here today. Yes. You do. So absolutely.
I'm doing my bit for the
community.
You are.
Absolutely. You're definitely celebrating Pride right now.
I love colours, and that's the thing, isn't it? Just being bright and colourful.
So, anyway. So I can't remember where I met this guy. I met this guy. We went on a date. As I said, went up to Byron Bay. But there was nothing special about the date. There was no point where I felt a connection. And now people might be listening and say, well, he's just not the person that you might have connected with. Yeah. Why didn't you? I'd spent 10 years prior to this trying to make a connection with a male. Like, it is not, and yes, I don't think it has to be, I don't think it has to be on a physical level or anything like that. I think you just know, and I think people listening will probably be like, yeah, you just know. Like, a guy walks past, if you're straight and you go, damn, check him out. Yeah, whereas I was doing it.
Or on the TV, or like, I don't know, Brad Pitt, isn't he gorgeous? Like, none of that.
Yeah, or you watch sex scenes on a TV and you go, hello.
Porn.
And
it's called. I was on a funny website and I saw some sex scenes.
But there was no point where I watched kind of sex scenes on TV or anything. And I'm like, oh, hello. There was just nothing. When I had friendships with males that never went any further, there was never like, there was just nothing. So
there was never an attraction. So a guy with great abs and a gorgeous body, there was nothing.
I can appreciate it. Like, do not get me wrong.
You've done all the hard work. Great
absolutely.
abs.
Like, I can literally appreciate and look at TV. Yeah. Like, even sometimes now I say to my wife, like, damn, like, he's fit. But
athletically.
It would, exactly. I would never be like, I would never go, all right, let's, like, my biggest crush as a male, my biggest crush
hang on a minute.
of a male
that's part 3.
is like Liam and Chris Hemsworth in Australia. So Thor and
sorry.
his brother.
Yep.
Super fit, right? But I've always just said, I just love a cuddle from them. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not I'm like, oh, wow, I can appreciate how fit you are. Anyway, we're completely going off topic.
Yeah, but I think but that's important, because if for all this, from puberty, say, to 24 or whatever, that, you're going to see stuff, and like, so as a guy, I don't know, like a short skirt, boobs a little bit out, like, wow. Like, I don't know, there's
especially because your hormones at that age are going absolutely crazy. And there was never a point where I wanted to kind of explore that. And because I didn't, going back to what we were saying in the previous episode, because I never knew what being gay was, or I never knew what, being a lesbian was, and that there was even something, that was around, I never wanted to have sex because I didn't want to do it with a male. So it was just, there was never a moment.
So you've got I'm me, so you've got to excuse
how
the way
my
little brain works, but it's so is it a chemical difference to X and Y chromosomes, and there's all sorts, and I think that half the brain we don't even know how it really works and stuff, right? There's so much we probably don't know about, especially thinking, dreams, all that kind of jazz. But with that thought process where like 100%, like you just properly naturally not attracted to males as a female, but instead you're attracted to females as a female, like is it a chemical level, like that you're think like, so some people might change, like like, oh, do you know what, I like, I haven't been married for 10 years, and what about Philip Schofield? Like, I don't know, must have fancied it, and obviously it's bisexual as well, and there's other, but I don't know, like how and why. I
definitely think that's a good question, and I wish I knew. And I think that but it is. I think that's just one thing, and people, so many people are like, oh, you're not born, like, you come from the church where I grew up in, and it was a choice. Do you know what I mean? It's a choice I made. And it's a lifestyle choice that was always thrown around. You've chosen this. Goodness me, if I could choose it, I wouldn't be it. Because
it's hard work.
It is. It's just it is, and I think it's one thing that like I still to this day, and this is something. Is it embarrassing for me to say? But I would definitely say, in my job, I work in weddings, right?
Yep.
And still to this day, I have meetings with couples. I'll speak to suppliers, I'll speak to people, and I'll say my partner.
Yeah.
I still won't say my wife.
Yeah, but I've been in. I sometimes say that. I don't know if that's just a maturity thing.
I don't know. I think because I can't be asked.
Yeah.
I can't be asked
with the wife
the look.
thing.
The look, whether they're surprised because I'm in, whether I'm surprised because I'm in a dress and my hair's down and I don't have that look about me, whether I can't be asked with questions. I think, I don't know. I'm getting better at it. Yeah. I definitely am. But I don't know why I feel I have to apologise for it.
No,
but I
think
you
certainly don't want to start a fight.
No.
But do you know what I mean, though? Because you're passionate about and your wife is your other half, and, you're a if
Yeah.
So if someone offended you on that, you could be quite like...
And I definitely think, like, don't get me wrong, like, now these days, people are so supportive. But, when I meet couples that I work with, I don't know their religious background. I don't know what they stand for. I don't want to offend them. And obviously, I also don't want to ruin the reputation of our business. So for us, or the business I work for me, I just think it's just best to just kind of play it cool and just be like my partner, say that I have a kid. Yeah. But it is very much like that. I think if I ran my own business and I could, put the marketing out and things like that myself, I'd be like, absolutely. But these people don't have a choice to work with me, kind of thing. Yeah. They've kind of booked their venue. And so in a way, I don't want to offend people. And there are probably people listening that are kind of like, especially in the LGBTQ plus community, they're probably like, well, come on, sister, like, don't be like that. Like, you've got to be proud. And I'm absolutely proud. But I think there just needs to be a line where I don't know people's background. And I think because I came from a background where I was in the church and they don't agree with it, I just need to just try and just... People don't need to know, do they? But I'm proud, and there's not one bit of me that's not proud that I can stand up and say, I've got an amazing wife. But yeah, we've definitely off tracked. So
no, it's good. Yeah, no, we are. It's good. Hang on, let me just come back. Let me come back to that.
It was just the dating with the guy, and realised I was gay.
I haven't. No, let me get in on it. Let me get in on the action. No, I'm so infused in the conversation. But yeah, no, okay. Like, I'm kind of just agreeing with you anyway. Like, I agree with you, but I feel like I want to like elaborate that conversation, develop that conversation. It's really interesting because when I hear someone, so like someone I've worked with, a male, he's been like come out as gay for years.
Yeah.
But when I met him, like it was after. Imagine it could have been after sort of, I don't know, 6 months or a year, it doesn't really matter. But after a period of time, we'll just smash the microphone. He said, my boyfriend. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't have a problem with that, but it's like a surprise.
Yeah.
And actually for me, like it's quite a pleasant surprise. Like I was like, that's cool.
Yeah. I would say definitely from kind of what you're saying is obviously a lot of people in the closet, because they're too scared to come out. So exactly the same situation that I was in. And so a lot of people come out later on in life. And I would say people who are even in relationships now, straight relationships, might come out because they're like, oh my gosh, it's more accepting now.
Yeah.
So do you know what I mean? So it's, whereas that burp finally came out. Whereas...
not on the mic.
Not on the mic. Whereas, I think it's more accepting now.
Oh, yeah.
And we definitely lived, back, go 10 years ago. And it wasn't like, gay marriage in this country was only legalized, I think, 10 years ago.
Well, that's true.
So it's very much like people are starting to come out now because it's like, okay, well, number one, I can actually get married.
Yep.
And yeah, so I definitely think more people are just kind of being like, okay, well, I don't have to hide away anymore. I can come out. So that maybe they probably always have been, but exactly like me, if I could have gotten a boyfriend, clearly, I probably would have dated a boy.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get one, so do you know what I mean? It's just...
I couldn't get one, so just...
Couldn't get one. I tried.
I find this like... I find that really... The really interesting stuff is that you really tried.
I did.
You know what I mean?
So desperate.
Yeah.
It's like, can someone just love me? No, I did. I really tried, and I didn't want to... Like, I didn't want to lose that support. I didn't want to lose my friends. I didn't want to lose that community. But at the end of the day, it's I had to just think about me.
Yeah. Charity starts at home.
Yeah.
Not saying charity, but do you know what I mean? Like, look after number one first.
Yeah. That's what my dad always says to me. He's like, you've got to look out for you.
The simple one is like, like when you're on the plane and you get the safety brief off there, and they're like, put your mask on first before helping someone else. Because the idea is like, if you go unconscious, you can't put your child's mask on.
You can't help someone else, absolutely.
So it's like, look after yourself
before
you help someone else. And I think, so, people will rely on you. You've got people in your life that rely on you. So you have to think about yourself and you have to put yourself first sometimes to then be able to...
I think for me, like... The moment I came out, the moment I told my parents, that was like a big thing for me. The moment I started telling people, putting it on kind of Facebook that I was in a relationship, I did get a lot of support.
What was obviously you didn't put like on Facebook, I'm a lesbian. They're like, do you remember the coloured boxes? Like it just be pink, like I'm a lesbian.
Yeah, with like a song, like on MySpace, you got to choose a song. No, I think it was just.
But did you put girlfriend?
Yeah, it was just
a relationship.
My girlfriend.
It was
yeah, it was just that.
And.
Yeah,
unfriend, church.
You know what? I wish I could find it.
Yeah.
I really should have prepared for this because there was a message I got from someone, and it was...
I'm hoping it was bad. That sounds awful.
No, it was. It was awful. So it was just
message?
Like... it was a direct message.
No one put a comment on
Facebook.
Like, how dare you?
On Facebook. No, of course. Like, what are the keyboard warriors? Had to do it not in front of anyone.
Yeah.
But it was not nice, and it was very much like you've what was it? It was, how dare you? You've humiliated your community.
Oh my God.
How, like, it was very much like, how could you do this to God in your relationship? You're disgusting. No. And I just remembered reading that. And
this was somebody direct messaging you from the church.
It wasn't like a best friend.
No,
it wasn't someone,
matter.
but it was someone within the church.
Yeah.
And I'll be completely honest, if there's anyone within the church that I used to go to that's listening to this today, they would be disgusted in that message. Because not once from my close friends did I get anything like that.
And there's the human side, right? So like,
absolutely,
okay, so the church, and whether you're a believer, you're not a believer, and you want to be part of the church or not, or whether you're a little bit part of the church or you believe a little bit, the levels, like the church, as well as having these sort of rules that followed, come down from through the Bible and all this sort of stuff. There's a lot of it's about humanity and like looking after each other and being good to each other. So like whoever's put that, okay, yeah, they've got their point on that, but they shouldn't be then.
Yeah, I wish I had the message. It was honestly, it was insane. But I just remember reading that and just being like, you know what, you're the reason that
I'm a lesbian. I'm joking.
It was just more like you're the reason why people don't turn to God, because in no way is God anything like that. Yeah. He's loving, he's graceful, he's caring, and you're exactly the reason why people don't have faith and why people look at Christianity and they look at religion as a cult, when the church I was in was definitely not that. It was an amazing, beautiful community who just lived by morals and things,
exactly.
In no way am I taking anything away from the church that I grew up in. They obviously have their beliefs, and I'm absolutely fine with that. But I needed to do me. And then when this person turned around and said that, I was just like, wow, that's actually really sad. And I actually felt sad for them because I'm like, that's actually really sad, because I'm over here loving life and I'm finally happy with myself. I can finally live a life where I'm like, you know what, I'm me. And 24 years of feeling like I was different and something wasn't right and something didn't click. One moment just, I was me, and I was like, you know what, this is who I am, and I could run with that and I could embrace that. And from that moment on, like, I've been so much happier because I finally just admitted who I was, and I was real with myself in the world. The coming out moment.
Anyway, back to the Bible.
Back to the Bible.
Very quick, because I don't want to, sorry, scatterbrains going on. What does it say in the Bible? So like a man should not love another man or something like that.
Yeah.
But is it different for women? Or does it say something about the same sex?
Yeah, no, I think it's like a man should not love a man or something like that. But do you know what? Yeah, lesbians absolutely fine. Throw the Bible at me. But honestly, it's been a long time. I did Bible college, but the scriptures.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah,
I'm a lesbian.
I think it was just kind of, Harry, I couldn't be asked. No, I didn't. But you know what I mean? I'm
just more thinking.
No, absolutely. And there's so much I wish I could have said. But yeah, I didn't. Anyway, let's fast forward. This is all dim and grim.
So now, but no, we've got to continue the process. Right, so we go back. So Tinder date with a guy.
Okay,
Didn't work. On the sand dunes, but no action.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. We held hands. Held hands. I felt uncomfortable the entire time, like I was living a fake life.
Some touching.
They were a beautiful guy. But yeah, absolutely.
So he chose somebody who, most non-lesbian women would attractive.
Yes. So someone who I thought would be my type, who was black.
But you don't know.
I've always fancied black men.
Yeah, but you haven't fancied black men.
But if I was to go,
you thought you might.
I thought I might. So I'd always thought I'd really loved different cultured kids.
Yeah.
Do you know, like that mix of
God, you tried
cultures.
Everything.
So I really wanted that. So I know I always thought black guys were just cool. They just had that swag.
I think you even tried it, 'cause like a lot of white women are probably like they're trying to find the black man. You're trying to get it all together, right? If I'm not going to be a lesbian, this is what I need to. What I must have.
Exactly.
It didn't work.
So I tried it, and I drove home. He kissed me. Oh my goodness, there were massive lips. I was not keen, did not enjoy it. I went in, ran into Dad.
But he's got a penis. Yeah. That's the problem.
He probably just came near me. I was like, no, thank you. Went into Dad, obviously, and just said I was gay. But what is it that you want? So obviously not what is it that you want. What do you want?
What do you really want?
In terms of that, was there like something else you wanted me to touch on?
No, I'm not like, I didn't want like the weird like, okay, so did he put his hand on your knee?
No, I'm just like...
No, okay, so no, and then it was...
You just want the storyline.
I just want the storyline. So
okay.
As I understand it then, so Tinder date with a guy, because I originally thought then you somehow met a girl through that date.
No. So
then it was the girl that brought you to England.
Finally admitted, right, I'm gay.
Yeah.
Right, so now I'm not ashamed. I am on that Tinder. I'm swiping everything.
Wow. 2 fingers.
Absolutely. Okay. So absolutely swiping.
Yeah.
And then I was chatting to a few girls.
Did you pay for the pro version?
No, I didn't. No, absolutely not. So then I met my girl who became my girlfriend.
Can we have a name or not?
I think probably best not to have a name.
No names.
So
a girl.
A girl.
And how long ago is this now then?
So we met in probably 2016.
Okay.
2016.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah, definitely pre-COVID. Because I flew over here in 2017. So it might have been there halfway through 2015.
Okay.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. So we met. She actually flew up from Sydney to meet me.
Okay.
And then flight? It was. Probably a 2-hour flight.
I know nothing about Australia.
Yeah, sorry. So from Sydney to Brisbane, probably that 2-hour flight. Okay. So she flew up from Sydney, met me in Brisbane.
So it's like London to Edinburgh or something. Like, it's a... Yeah.
Yeah. We clicked from the get-go.
Yeah. Did you know then straight away? Or at least, I think I'm a lesbian. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely a lesbian.
Yeah, I think it was. It was... I just already knew Harry.
Yeah, okay.
So that was just kind of a yes. Like, so... Well, we stayed together, and then she wanted to. We both wanted to move back over to the UK. Am I jumping too much here?
No. So she's from the UK.
She's from the UK. Yeah.
So she was somewhere.
She was traveling. Yeah.
Oh, she was okay. So it was dead easy for. She wasn't like working. She came in, so you spent some time together.
Yeah. So she spent some time together. Went back. Realized we wanted to be together.
Wow.
She then moved up to Brisbane, and then we got a place of our own. I was still in university at the time.
Yeah.
And we just.
Yeah. So you needed to crack on. Just abandon.
I couldn't have moved. So obviously, then I finished university, and as soon as I finished university, during the end of kind of the university, I was applying for my visa at that point to come over, and then. I literally just packed up one suitcase and
did she stay, or she'd already come back to the UK?
No, we came over together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a big thing, but it also wasn't at the same time. I think I was definitely running. I would say that.
But also, because this is so everything's changing, everything's going to be new, and so like a fresh place and a fresh start also is quite a nice combination.
It was more accepted over here.
Yeah.
Australia's very, very far behind. Obviously, I've been here for 7 years now, and I think, they're definitely coming up, but catching up.
In terms of values and traditions and...
Well, just, being accepted. Like, I remember my ex at the time always used to want to hold my hand in public, and I was like, no. Like, I just wouldn't do public affection. And so when I moved over here, I just felt like I could be... my lesbian self. It was just, I felt like I could hold my girlfriend's hand in public. I felt like it wasn't looked upon. People didn't double take.
Yeah.
Because I definitely remember walking down the beach in Brisbane, and we were holding hands, and we just got so many looks.
Really?
And so I was like, you know what, I'm just running from this.
Yeah,
and
okay.
So yeah, I think it was to obviously come over here and work in the event industry, but subconsciously, the more that we're kind of talking about it and the more I look back, it was definitely me kind of just... Right, I need to start afresh.
Yeah,
get everything in my suitcase, and I'll just start all over again. And I moved over.
And where did you arrive? Where were you in the UK?
The first time I came, it was in Normington in Wakefield.
Normington.
So I went from Australia to Normie.
To Wakey.
To Wakefield. So that was a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a shock.
You're like, this is the creme de la creme of the UK, the Wakey.
Yeah. So then So then after that, when I came here, we were still together for a year after I'd arrived. I decided to end things just because for me it turned into very much a friendship. So unfortunately, we ended things.
Okay.
As a story about that, but we won't go into it.
Yeah. And it's personal.
Yeah. So did that, and then
on Tinder.
Back on Tinder.
Was it back on
met
Tinder?
Someone else.
Back on Tinder,
yeah, was in a relationship.
It's the modern way.
Then,
do you know what? You can't slate it because there's plenty of people that are now married and stuff.
Yeah.
Tinder's been going for years, right?
If both two people are serious and they're not just looking for a one-night stand, then,
Exactly.
But when I met... So now, right?
Yep.
So I was in a relationship. That ended. I then was like, stuff this, back on Tinder.
Yeah,
Then I met... Ella.
And you've
I can
Tinder
say her
preferences, name. Right? Girl looking for girl or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
you can put your preferences in.
Yeah, okay.
But when I met Ella, so my now wife, I was very much just like, no, just want to have one night stands.
Is a photo going to pop up of Ella?
Pop up.
No,
can we do that? You haven't worked out how to do that?
No, it can do that. In post-editing, it can pop up in the corner.
Yeah.
We'll wait and
get
see
one,
if you...
Get one.
Okay, it might pop up, it might not.
I'll have to get it approved by Ella.
No, it could be both picture of you together pop up.
Yeah.
Okay,
so, so my now wife Ella, we met on Tinder, and I remember we were talking for about a few days, and out of the blue, she just called me, FaceTime. because she was like, I don't think you're real kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously with Tinder, you just don't know if they're catfish. And I just remember I was actually just sitting in my bed, you know, when you just sat up kind of on a night, and I was flipping through my phone. And I just remember just going, hello, like no makeup, nothing. And I was like, she clearly just wants to see if I'm real. I'm not going to be fake. I'm not going to go put a face of makeup on. This is me. This is it. And she's
like, oh, wrong number.
She was like, oh, sorry, wrong number, bye. And then that was it. And then she was just like,
bit of phone sex, and then we was together.
Not at that point. And then she just said, okay. She's like, can we meet? And I was like, yep. So then we met.
And you're in Wakey. She's York?
She's in York. So at this point I was living in Leeds. Leeds.
Yep.
So then we obviously started a relationship not long after. Again, lesbians move quick.
Is that you, or it's all the other lesbians that move really quick?
Well, it's just everyone. All
you're
of them.
just like, God, these lesbians move quick.
No, but they do.
I was a virgin since 24.
Well, yeah.
All these
until I became a lesbian, then we moved,
And then you started moving quick.
As soon as I got a taste, I was like, what? No.
So running everywhere.
So we just, we started our relationship. So long story short, we were together for a little while. I would say maybe 2 years. And then we decided we want to have a kid.
Yep.
As you can imagine, this is where it gets tricky. How
do we do this?
So as you can imagine, it was, we thought it would take us years. So the stories we'd heard, the research we'd done, how it works, it'd be very expensive. Well, how it works. So how it works is most lesbian couples or anyone wanting to kind of have a baby, if they're in a same-sex couple, they go to a clinic, and clinics have all these sperm donors that you can choose from. Most times they don't have pictures, so it's just about kind of, you know, maybe what they do as a job, any health pits and things and that. But if they do have pictures, it's of them as a baby. So it's not as them of now. Anyway,
is that to stop like designing babies, or like to do, like we shouldn't mess around too much with genes, like although you can easily, like, you know, if me and you were in a relation, you know, or said, oh, you've got nice eyes, or I think we'd make a great baby together, like, you know, you can do that now. But surely all babies look the same. Okay, maybe their eye colour's different, but babies look the same, so it's not really. But if you see someone who's developed and is, you know, the proportions are all great and you like the idea of it, you can make a better choice, no?
I don't know. I don't know why they do it. I literally don't know why they do it.
They must have a rule.
Maybe it's because if they saw them now, that only the sperm that maybe is really attractive would get chosen, so then they'd have no one come into the clinic. Because maybe, I don't know, that's just me thinking. Because obviously, if you walk in, you see the most attractive, you're going to go, oh, I want that person, and then all the others aren't really that attractive.
That guy's living on a super yacht because he's just getting like
so then, like, money. For them to keep their business going, they're probably like, oh, well, let's just show them as babies, and then because everyone's cute as a baby.
What about eye colour and stuff?
Yeah, well, that's it.
Can you see that as the baby?
No, it will say in the description. So it will say, like, eye colour, ethnicity, you know, I believe it's kind of like... But the reason I don't know this is because we didn't go through that process. Okay. So but how it worked...
Important. Ethnicity is important. And it's not...
No, absolutely,
because, like, you know, if... as two white people, you're probably going to want your baby to be white, and that's not being weird.
No, but it's also, if, you know, you have someone who's from African descent, you also want them to know about their culture, and if, you know, when you need to educate them on your do you know what I mean? So it's very much like you know, it's not just maybe about what they're going to look like. It's very much like, well, okay, this will be their history, this will be their, you know, biology. So we couldn't afford it. We couldn't afford to go through IVF. So we didn't have the money to do it. And
how much is that? How much would it cost?
So it's, I think for the first round, I think we were looking about $5,500, and that's just the first round. And most times it doesn't really work. So you're looking at about 3 or 4 times sometimes before it works. So for us, we were like, look, we just don't have this money. We want a baby. We don't have this money. So I started really looking into it, how it would work if we got, you know, if we brought sperm.
From man behind the bike shed.
Yeah, it was just more how it would work if we wanted to do it at home. So I didn't go into that deep. Yeah. I then contacted one of my best mates who's in the gay community as well, and he's really close to me. And I just said, look, hey, we're looking at having a baby. Where the heck do we start? He's really in the gay community, and he kind of had connections and things like that, whether there was a clinic that he knew of or something. So I just messaged him. Anyway, next minute I get a reply back, and he just said, Nikki, He's like, if you want a baby, I'll give you a baby. And I replied pretty much like, it's not a joke. Like, as in, I love you, but... You know what I mean? He's a bit of a joker. So I was like, it's not a joke. Like, I'm serious. Like, you know. And he kind of replied and he was like, look, I've spoken to my mum about it. If this is what you want, he's like, I will support you in this. And I just remember being so taken back because that is such a huge thing.
But I think that's a wonderful thing to be able to do for somebody. And
honestly.
I've got a friend who will come back at any second.
Yeah.
But I've got a friend, a female friend who hasn't got a partner. And has looked at this before. I don't know if it's still something she's looking at, but, you know, and she'd looked like who's, you know, and I said like I make pretty good kids.
Yeah.
And I would offer that. I think it's a wonderful thing to be able to offer somebody like a gift of life.
Yeah.
But
and I think and it is amazing. And like maybe you just saying that isn't, you know, you don't take for granted how much that weighs, you know, how, and I remember him just saying it to it and I was like, I didn't know what to say. Anyway, I said, look, I'm just going to give you a few months to think of this. I said, that would be, he ended up calling me. Yeah. And I said, that would just be amazing. You know, he's a very attractive guy. Yeah. He's athletic, he's sporty, he's very smart. He's
gay.
He's gay.
So if he's gay and you guys are gay.
And Ella's gay.
Everyone's going to be gay.
Bless my little girl.
Yeah, she's definitely going to be gay.
She's,
I'm joking. She's only little, but you know.
No, maybe because both are gay, it will like take the gay away. Maybe. Gay. Anyway. So
she can make an informed decision when she's older.
Absolutely.
You're going to put her straight into the church though.
I'm thinking about it. So yeah, so she definitely so I was very shocked, sorry. And we just said, look, we'll give you a few months, we'll come back and
next day you're like that, yeah, we'll do it.
No, and so we did. We gave him a few months and I said, look,
oh, you gave him the time.
And then we came back and then I just said, look, if this is something you want to do, I've got a lot of questions.
Yeah,
and I said
and
because it needed to kind of be legal in a way, it needed to kind of be like, so we asked him some really hard questions. We asked him some deep ones. For example, it was very much if, you know, as a gay man, if you can't have kids, how then would you see our child? It was very much like, we don't just want one, we want two. Would that be something? Yeah. So I think it was 15 to 20 questions. Yeah. And we nailed him. And it was because if this isn't going to put him off, then he's with us. Yeah. And he just stood by our side and every single answer he had was just exactly what we wanted to hear.
Yeah.
And all right, so I know this podcast is cracking on, but there's a really important bit about this story. So we ended up...
I also want the detail, how it works.
Yeah, so...
Not too weird.
No. I mean? So it was really good because we decided, so he was going to come up. He lived in London at that time. Yep. He came up... and we decided it was originally going to be me giving birth, but we decided that Ella was going to give birth. The reason being is Ella isn't, you know, and she'll 100% tell you this, whether she sat here, she's not very maternal, right? Okay. So I knew that I could love anything. I knew that if I was involved, there would be no inkling of me, whether it's biologically mine or not, that kid is going to be loved. So I've got that mother instinct.
This is quite an important mental thing, right?
Whereas Ella's very much like when she saw, before having a little girl, when she saw kids, she was like, oh, go away.
Little bastard.
And so I was like, for Ella to have that connection,
that's a clever thing. I like it.
She needed to give birth. Yeah. And there was one moment, we were stood in the bathroom and I just said, I just felt sick because we decided I was going to do it. And she said, well, why don't I just do it? And this weight just lifted off my shoulders. Yeah. And it was just like within that moment, I don't think we realized, but I don't think it was because I was scared. I think it was because the universe, God, whatever, worked for it to happen that way. Because I do think now, like we speak about it, we made the best decision in Ella doing it because the bond that me and my little girl have is stronger than the bond that Ella and we just have this bond, and it's not stronger, of course it's not.
No, I know, but I know exactly what you mean.
It may have been not that way if it was the other way.
Things happen for a reason.
Exactly, and everything did happen for a reason. Yeah. We thought, let's just give this a try. We weren't ready for a kid. We wanted a kid. Yeah, but you think you can personally, we thought it would take us 7 years. When I say we are probably so lucky because we know within ourselves that even straight couples struggle so much. We cannot turn around and be like, we are so blessed.
And it happened.
And it happened the first time. So 2 weeks later, we did a pregnancy test, and Ella was pregnant.
And you were like, come on, please.
But we wanted it, but I think we both went, holy crap, like, we didn't expect this.
Yeah.
Fast forward 9 months, our little baby girl was born, Lola.
Wow.
I think Ella had a very, obviously we won't go into detail, Ella had a very traumatic birth. It wasn't, nothing was straightforward. No. It was very hit and miss for a while. For anyone. Yeah. Okay. So that definitely scared me off. But Ella really struggled in that moment after giving birth. So I just grabbed Lola straight away and just really took on that role in terms of, you know, making sure that she was safe and things like that, and giving her that love and that bond that she needed. She was in Skaboo for 7 days after that, so she was born incredibly small. I think it was 4.5 or something pounds. So I know that this podcast is going on, so we've got to wrap things up. But yeah, so she's she's 2.5 now. But the one thing I did really want to talk about is, unfortunately, because Ella and I weren't married at the time. So in terms of me going the birth certificate, that wasn't allowed. No. So, no, absolutely not. So one thing that is was really something that shook us was that when Ella was pregnant, we kind of got in contact with the registry office. We tried to do a lot of research. When I contacted the registry office, I said, we're due to have a baby girl, blah, 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 you know, LGBT, blah, blah, blah. Will I be on the birth certificate? And they said, as long as you get married before she's born, you'll be on the birth certificate. Okay. Right? So we were like, cool, we'll go get married tomorrow. Like, whatever. Yep. No issue. Then for some reason it wasn't sitting right with me. So I did more research and I really looked into it. Yep. It turns out the information I was given was incorrect. You have to be married before insemination. So there was no way. So conception. Yeah. No, because then that was be when she was born. So insemination.
No, conception. No, it's conception, conceived.
Yeah, before they
insemination is only if you squirt it in.
Yeah, well, that's what I did. No. In my head, that's
before insemination.
What's insemination?
Yeah. Oh wow.
So that just obviously broke us because then we had to go through adoption.
No. So, well, she didn't, but you did. You had to.
Well, this is the interesting thing, right? Yeah. And we don't have a lot of time to go into it, but we then realised that was it. We had Lola. Yeah. I wasn't going to be on the birth certificate. So when we went to sign to give her information over and to register her, it was only Ella on the birth certificate, which was quite difficult for me.
I get it. Totally get it.
I think the thing that was quite difficult for me was because as a lesbian couple, obviously they know I didn't give birth, and also I didn't provide the sperm. Yeah. But if Ella was stood on the street next to the registry office, she could have grabbed any guy and walked in there and said, this is the baby's father. They wouldn't have asked about the relationship status. They wouldn't asked about anything. It would just be like, no problem, what's your name? John, write it down, birth certificate done. But obviously because I'm a female, I could.
That's crazy. So you could make it up about any male.
Any male, it would be fine. They wouldn't ask questions. Okay. So we then had to go through the adoption process. Now, that was not straightforward. So when we went through the adoption process, I had a social worker come to my house several times to see how I interacted with Lola, to see what kind of mother I am, to see our house, to see... It was very invasive.
Even though it's also Ella's house.
Yeah, absolutely. So the birth mother. Yeah. I even had... So they contacted my work of employment. Yeah. This will shock you. They even contacted my exes for character references.
Your exes?
My exes. So they contacted because you have to get...
off Tinder?
Not him. People who I was actually in a relationship with, they contacted them for character references.
But the girl that came over...
So yeah. Oh. So luckily we ended on good terms. Wow. And there was, it was, but I'm very lucky. But it was so invasive. Then I had to go to court and stand up while they told me if I was a fit mother or not. It was honestly, when I say...
Yeah, I'm a fit mother.
It was absolutely ridiculous. Yep. Luckily, we were very lucky that the sperm donor, our best mate, was in court with us. Yep. So he was very much like, they're amazing, I concur, everything, take me off anything.
Yeah.
So we were lucky. But now this is another thing that is quite surprising and very far behind. We now don't have a birth certificate for Lola. We now have an adoption certificate. So when
You've got an original birth certificate.
No, so they take the original birth certificate. We now have an adoption certificate, and Ella's not the birth mother. Ella's an adoption mother.
And what are you?
I'm adoption mother.
Yeah, okay, this was going to be my question.
Yeah.
So now you're on an equal legal footing.
We are on a legal footing, absolutely. So I have all rights to Lola, just as Ella does.
You know, I want you guys to be together. I hope more than anything, like, and other people in relationships stay together forever and have a wonderful life together.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if anything happened, what would happen? Be like the same as me getting
divorced
from my ex-wife.
It would just be the same. It would literally have, I have rights. Yeah, absolutely. But this is something Ella and I spoke about. We've always been real we've always been real, because people can't live in a fantasy that, you know, we're going to live happily ever after. At the end of the day, life happens.
Okay.
And that's one thing, even before we had Lola, we spoke about it. And we said, if this ever happens, because I came from a broken family, Ella came from a broken family. So that was something that was so important to us, that we needed to be on that right page. So Ella wanted that for me. She wanted me to be on the certificate because, and also...
Because you've gone through everything
Exactly.
together.
And it was just like...
You did the squirt.
Yeah. If it wasn't for my squirting, we wouldn't even have her.
Squirting.
So
Next topic.
that's something that definitely has weight in terms of, especially like for Ella, like imagine giving birth to a child and growing that child in your belly, and now you're an adoptive parent.
No, but this is...
You know?
But... I see that as better than the being someone as a birth mother. This has put you on an equal footing, though. Now you've now got a certificate to say it's you two people together.
Yes, but no.
But
because I will never be on equal footing to Ella.
Because you know.
I didn't go through.
No, I know you didn't. You know, but I mean legally,
yes,
equal footing.
But I would never want.
She can never. And this is just. I'm just. And it could be
no, I get it.
Else.
Yeah.
She or another person in this situation, because you guys are amazing and you stay together forever.
Yeah.
But someone in this position couldn't turn around and go, "No, go away. I'm the mother."
If you were in like a hostile relationship, and do you know what I mean? And maybe if you weren't in the best, in that point, it would definitely be kind of like, you're on the same playing level.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I mean. Okay, so someone couldn't go, "Hang on a minute, I'm the birth mother." No, because that's almost been taken away.
Yes.
And replaced with.
You're both the
think
mothers.
That's so, I know I get how that's a bit sad in a way, but I think that's also really positive in a way, because you've now been given you're both mothers. Both mothers.
Yeah.
Regardless of what it says in text, see it as a...
I think for us, we just had to look like, definitely I always put myself in Ella's shoes and be like, that. If that was me, that would rip me apart, because, you know, you are the birth mother. You did go through all that. And I get and we are a team, absolutely. And I think that's one thing that it's kind of like, okay. And to be honest, I never really even want to show Lola that about, because she wasn't adopted, you know, she was ours. But it's amazing. Obviously, that is our journey. That went on for a long time.
It did. Might even get 3 episodes out of this one.
But I think it needs to be taught, especially in Pride Month. You know, we do go through so much. You know, so many people in the LGBT community lose friends. They lose family. They don't have people that are supporting by them. And I think it's amazing that as a community we can come together and we can. You know, Pride Month is all about that. It's all about acceptance and equality. Definitely. And you know.
But I see all that as something outside of your story. So we've heard, maybe even over 3 episodes, we've heard your story, Ella's story, your previous stuff, the church, your beautiful daughter, and all. But this is very much your story. Take away pride as a thing, and it doesn't really change your story. Okay, maybe parts of acceptance. In your life
absolutely. Yeah,
but this is very much your story.
Yeah,
because I think, you know, with the pride stuff, people maybe see it as flamboyancy and like, you know, all sorts of different expression and the colours and the stuff like this. But you're there dressed in black and white, and that's your story in black and in black and white, and it's the two. You know, so a lesbian with, you know, in a relationship, have a child, your story through growing up. We've got, you know, but there's pride is a thing, but it's the community that is there and stuff. But you how much have you relied on really the community? Because I think it's going to be different for different people at different levels.
I definitely think it's going to be different because for me personally, I haven't relied on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
Yeah,
like, it's there, and you get it. I get it. But
I think for me,
you've got on with life, is what I'm trying to say.
You know, but if it wasn't for those people maybe who fought for us to be accepted.
Yeah.
And I think that's where my appreciation comes from, because I'm here living in all the acceptance now, but there's go back 10 years ago, go back 20 years ago.
It would have had an effect on you.
And if it wasn't for that, then absolutely. But personally, I don't. I have a few gay friends. You know, 2 of my best mates are gay, gay men. And I've got a few girlfriends that are gay as well. So, but in terms of the community, we don't get together and, you know, celebrate being gay. Just... For me personally, it's not that. Yeah. And I would say, Pride just seems like an amazing celebration of a festival, and sorry, that's the wrong word. It's not celebration of a festival of celebration. Yeah.
Either way around.
Either way around.
Get it. But it's good. Okay, so the important point, you know, for is, we can't speak for everyone or anyone, and like we're all, you know, but I think it's just it's making sure that a message is heard, isn't it?
Yeah.
So with, you know, if you believe in something, and it's something valid, it's important that message is out there, and that we accept each other and we respect each other.
Absolutely.
I think that's the key, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like with anything, you know, all the things in life that we do and enjoy that's not hurting other people or making them sad and stuff like that.
Just if you don't have anything nice to say, just walk away, ignore it, and if it's not harming you, then what does it matter? And I'm just like...
People should be left to get on with how they want to live their lives.
Absolutely.
As long as they're not hurting anybody. Yeah. And that's my look at it, and that's what I always say, is that, like, respect both ways. Yeah. Respect people, respect cultures, respect beliefs.
Absolutely. That is a great way to end it.
It is a great way to end it. It's the end of definitely a 3-parter.
That was
Can you believe
I
it?
couldn't believe how... I looked at the time then. I could not believe how long I've actually spoken for.
You're good at it. You're good at talking.
But
talking
I think, people need to know. People need to know.
They do. Right.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Always is. I always feel like I say the same thing at the end of a show, but we've got to say bye, haven't we?
Absolutely.
So we'll catch up in a bit. We're going for a drink. Not now, but we are having a drink and a bite to eat at some point very soon.
Perfect.
Come up with some cool topics.
I know. Send them through. If anyone's got any, send them through.
Yeah.
Things we can discuss. Deep conversations, fun, church related. Church. Nicole, please quote Psalms 36.
Oh, you probably know exactly what that is.
No.
I do want to talk about religion and our beliefs and science and the mixture of things, and maybe some celebrities that have commented both ways. And
it's interesting, isn't it? It's a massive subject. I think definitely even today, like I skimmed kind of the surface of it.
So we need to scratch that one. But thanks for watching, and thanks for watching the Harry & Co podcast show with the lovely Nicole.
We'll see you soon, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. See you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.